Hello Internet, welcome back to the Blade Showcase for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and today we're going to be looking at Roc. Roc is, as most of you guys know by now, a blade that you actually acquire during the main story. Now, I just want to say before we begin the video that there is going to be quite a handful of story spoilers. Obviously, I wouldn't really recommend watching these videos if you already haven't at least beaten the game up to chapter 8, because we are going to be utilizing a particular unlock for today's video's demonstration. Now, the thing about Roc is that he is one of the few blades where I would actually heartily recommend that you put them on Rex. And just like with this core, as well as the Beast core that you also find within the same chapter, you'll actually be able to make the best use of getting those on Rex, because for those of you guys that don't know, the overdrive protocol is quite rare, and it's best to sort of reserve all the other blades for other characters that you'll be finding on your quest. And I think that Roc would probably be one of the ones that I would highly recommend being on Rex, just because, without spoiling anything too further, Rex will eventually get an ability to use every blade in the entire roster. So, without further ado, let's begin the showcase with Roc. Roc is a dual scythe wielder, and the nice thing about him is that he has quite a few tools that make him very effective as an attacker, particularly reduced aggro. So we're going to actually have a look at the affinity chart. The first thing you're going to notice is the fact that to unlock more levels of affinity, you don't need to build trust. You just need to finish merc missions and raise your rank. The higher your rank is, the more you'll be able to unlock and the more abilities he'll eventually get. His abilities, by and large, in terms of his specials, are marginally useful. They're very situational. So as you'll see over here, his level 1 increases damage to aerial creatures, level 2 for increased damage based on how much is missing. You'll actually probably make more use of this one, just because one of his attacks actually lowers his HP, and quite a few of his abilities are affected by how low of an HP the driver has. Of course, there's also Feather Typhoon, again, very situational. It's usually for aerial foes. Not very many aerial foes come to mind, but I suppose that if you did find yourself at a great encounter against an aerial type, then you might want to consider putting Roc on here. Then he has, this is like kind of his main selling point. The fact that you can reduce aggro build-up with his attacks. You always want to be having this. Like, I even have a tank for this particular loadout that I'm using right now in the form of Percival on the driver, and even then I actually find that it's pretty easy to keep aggro off of me despite that. There's also Storm and Stress. This kind of lends itself pretty nicely. For today's demonstration, I won't really be making use of this, but for those of you guys that are starting off with Roc, it might be a good idea to open up your battles, particularly if you're starting with the story mode for the first time. And of course, there is Swoop. Again, very useful. There are two damage multipliers, so the main thing they wanted to do for this character's design was to have you begin your battles with Roc and begin your battles from behind. So that's going to be quite useful as well. Now, in terms of the auxiliary cores, Hunter's Chemistry 5 and whatever you want, like, I feel that, yeah, at this point, I've only recently discovered this myself. People have discovered this way before me. It's very useful. For those of you guys that don't know, when you begin the battle with initiative and you have this core on 3 blades, up for each member of the party, you're going to be maxed out and you'll be able to get max affinity immediately. It's quite useful. Otherwise, feel free to use whatever else you want here. I would probably recommend something along the lines of increased damage from behind, things like that. So yeah, go ahead, have fun with that. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much going to be Roc in a nutshell. Being the wind type that he is, he can sort of synergize with a handful, but like, you really do need to build the party around him. That being said, putting Roc on Rex is also quite useful, because you can, theoretically, do whole driver combos by yourself, provided that one of your partners does a break. So, for example, let's say you would have, right off the top of my head, you have Nia use a break. Then you can switch to Pyra, use the anchor shot to topple, then switch over to an axe user on Rex, and then launch them up into the air, then switch to Roc and slam them down to the ground. It's quite useful. I recommend, even if it's just a common blade with an axe, I recommend putting that on Rex as well. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do the demonstration. Alrighty, so here we are at the demonstration sites, and you guys probably might remember this particular enemy from your playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles. It's none other than Territorial Rotbarts, and the really funny thing about this enemy is that he does have an annoying ability that creates stench, and the thing about stench is that it actually makes the blade distance themselves from the driver. Now, I'm actually starting the battle off with Pyra, so unfortunately we won't be able to take advantage of Roc's ability to give bonus damage at the beginning of every match. I promise we're not going to spend too much time using Pyra for this particular fight, but the name of the game is to build up as many elemental orbs as possible. It's going to be very important for us to be doing that. And thankfully, Pyra and Roc actually synergize very well together due to the fact that Pyra can easily set up topples for Rex and then create the smashes like this particular one that we're going to do right now. Awesome. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a nice little smash. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and wait for Morag to do the Mega Explosion. Alright, and we're finally gonna have Roc still take advantage of that damage, that bonus damage at the beginning. Now, one thing I want to remember is that on my Y button is an attack that lets me actually be invincible during those ranges. It's just like with the Chroma Katanas, and it's very important for you guys to sort of reserve that cooldown, particularly in fights where you know there's going to be some imminent danger coming in. Okay, so Zeke's gonna go ahead and do some gravity, and you know what? I'm actually gonna follow suit with that one. I'm gonna wait and see if he goes for another, if he's gonna go for another Venom Cloud. I know one just happened, but like I'd rather be safe, so I don't want to get knocked away too far either. You gonna go ahead and do it? Okay, do you know what? Forget it. We'll throw caution to the wind this time. Yeah, there's the Venom Cloud. And we were able to block it due to the barrier that we created for ourselves. Very nice. Okay, we're going to switch back. And we're going to get ourselves our second orb. Now, what we can do is that hopefully, for this, after this attack finishes, Zeke is going to switch to the wind elements. The best way to build up an electric orb is to have 2 winds, so level 1, level 2 winds, and then an electric level 3, and that'll be our orb. Fortunately, I don't see Zeke going to be doing that anytime soon, so you know what, I'm going to go ahead, go straight into wind, and that should clue Zeke in that I'm trying to build up another combo. He's going to try to do it himself, but you know what, I'm actually going to reserve his charges so that I can go ahead and build it up. I'm gonna go ahead and build it up myself for my own level 2. Also, I feel like a stench is gonna be coming on soon, so let's see what we got. Okay. There we go. So, gonna go ahead and use the level 2. I feel like the level 2, if you're just looking for pure damage, you might want to just use the level 2 for Roc. Just because the other ones, they scale, like, they tend to just scale with the the aerial enemies. And, of course, we're not fighting an aerial enemy right now, so we won't be able to take advantage of that. Yeah, that's happening. Gonna get that break. Awesome. So, the other nice thing, too, about the driver combos is the fact that with these particular driver combos, let's see, you can build up your party gauge very quickly. So, when you add that, along with the fact that we also have, the fact that we also have a lot of meter build up, like, we're actually going to be at max gauge fairly quickly. Very useful to keep, and something good to take advantage of. Okay, so what I want now is I'm going to go ahead and switch to Roc, and let's see if Zeke switches to electricity. Okay, he's using gravity again. Okay, we already have, wait, we have 3 orbs. I would like very much to get my next one. So again, use that attack for the reserve. Give yourself some invincibility. Okay, here we go. Okay, you know what? I think we'll try to build some eyes with Morag. See if that works. So that's my ice. Yeah, I want to try to get all 5 orbs if I can. It's gonna be a Frost Typhoon. And you know what? Now that we're here... Well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna... Okay, you know what? My choice right now... I was thinking of switching back to Pyra to give myself some HP. But I think... Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Stay as Roc. Build myself some invincibility. There we go. Oh yeah, by the way, in terms of canceling animations... the first time is that you wait for 2 swings, and then you cancel with your attack. Or also you can wait for the spin, and then cancel mid-spin, after 2 hits from the spin. Or finally, when he brings down both sides at the same time. Let's see. There we go. Oh yeah, also, just a little tip that I want to share with people. I'm pretty sure most people already know this by now, but if you have a level 4 combo, and you see a very dangerous attack coming in, you will be invincible for the duration of it. So I recommend going for that one. Okay, do you know what? We're actually just gonna go ahead. I think, yeah, you know what? I feel like things are gonna go down fairly favorably for us right now, just because like we were able to mitigate so much damage with our invincibility, and I don't think Zeke's willing to show us Pandoria for now. That's fine. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set up... Oh, do you know what? Okay, I think I see a Frost Typhoon coming in right now. Come on. Show me. Yeah, see, if I had an Ice type on my team, I think we'd also still be able to benefit greatly from that. But unfortunately, we can only have so many blades. Okay, here we go. Time to get things started. So this particular thing, what makes it so useful is that when you're using this form, you're able to hit all 3 orbs at once. Quite useful, especially in clutch situations where you might not necessarily have the element. Obviously, some people might be more prepared than others, but it is nice to have the option. Okay, you know what? Let's have Boreas do some work. Really looking forward to having a Boreas showcase as well, if anyone's willing to see that. Alright, here we go. So yeah, like every turn, Mithra's going to actually be breaking some orbs for us. Oof, that was a quick one. Let's go ahead and try some Brigid. Yeah, it's 2 breaks in 1. Very good. And we're just going to go ahead and use Pandoria for this last one. Here we go. This is going to be an overkill. Now, apparently, based on what I've heard, is that when you overkill an enemy and you do, I think it's better if you have also a full burst, that meter at the top left corner of the screen right now. You actually have a higher drop rate, because I've been doing this battle a couple of times, and I actually got a legendary core and 2 core chips for our weapons. So yeah, that basically does it for the little demonstration for Roc. I know we didn't use Roc that much, but we were able to showcase that in very dangerous situations, particularly those Venom Clouds. You can use his attack to sort of just be invincible and kind of keep the flow going in your favor. Not to mention that, yeah, like it just kind of goes without saying that Roc and Pyra synergize with each other so well. Again, to reiterate what I said earlier in the video, was that if you have one of your allies set up a break, and most of your allies can set up breaks easily, what you can do is then switch into Pyra, get your topple, then switch to an axe user to get your launch, or wait for Zeke, if he's on your team, to do the launch instead, then switch over to Roc and then do the smash. You're going to build yourself a lot of party gauge, and you're going to be doing extra damage overall. Anyways guys, thanks everyone for joining me for today's Roc Showcase, and we're going to be seeing you guys next time. I hope you guys look forward to the next showcase for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Take care everyone.